they tell you to try?
Hello and welcome to Castrol Activ, Clinging On to Football. That's right. World Cup 2014 is upon us. All the fans, all the followers, we're just going nuts, right? Lots of sleepless nights, lots of dark circles, lots of yawning at work, taking naps maybe on your desk, but that's bound to happen. And I think for these 4 weeks, no one's going to blame you if you do that. Well, we're all clinging on to football in India, aren't we? We're all fans of the game, we're all followers of the game. And this next 90 minutes is basically about celebrating that whole fan experience, about answering the questions that you have perhaps with our guests, about engaging with you, the fan, about football, about the beautiful game, about your favorite sport. So yes, stay with us, cling on to us rather, as we go ahead with our little special Google Hangout called Castrol Activ, Cling On to Football. Nuts, right? Lots of sleepless nights, lots of dark circles, lots of yawning at work, taking naps. And there come my guests. Good evening, gentlemen. How are you? I have, of course, Baichung Bhutia, who needs no introduction. One of India's most recognized faces of football, or the most recognized face of football. Baichung, how are you?
Good, good, all well. Busy with the Football World Cup, so very excited.
Sleepless nights?
Yes, somewhat.
The whole body clock has changed, right?
It has. You've got to adjust because it's the timing and it happens once in 4 years. So I think you do have to sacrifice, and I'm ready to sacrifice for that.
We also have a very well-known face and voice of football, Paul Macefield. Mace, how are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Like you, big bags under the eyes, but what to do?
It's horrible, isn't it?
Not really, because you're watching football and it's
just the bags.
Yeah, the bags are
the bags horrible. It takes a little longer to cover it with the makeup. But it's a good cause, and that's why you do it. I think the 20-year-olds are good, well off, because they're
burning the candle at both ends, right? They can get away with it. We can't. We're a little bit older now.
We can't. Just slightly. Just slightly. Well, we're going to be engaging with a lot of fans. If you have questions for Paul and for Baichung, of course they would like to hear them. But that's if we can get them in, because I have so many myself. Gentlemen, it's been a fantastic start to the tournament, hasn't it? It's couldn't ask for more. There's goals, there's action, there's excitement. The odd, maybe goalless draw, but otherwise it's just been fantastic excitement.
So I think it's been great because the number of goals that's been scored in this World Cup, it's just first round, it's been amazing. And we, football players or football fans, or anybody watching football would want to see goals, and goals are everything. So it's been great that we've been able to see plenty of goals at least from the start. Just one goalless draw, I think it's not a bad thing, but overall, I think the number of goals that
two then eventually, because one from last night, and then of course Iran, Nigeria. I don't blame you if you forgot that.
Quite a surprise to see actually Brazil playing a goalless draw with Mexico. So that's quite a big shocker, because I can imagine Brazil playing a 1-1 draw or 2-2, because Brazilian teams are known to score goals.
Yeah.
So not a goalless draw. That's a different kind of a result for Brazil.
But that's just how brilliant Mexico was yesterday. Their defense was it was like a wall.
It was stunning. I think you've got to say that you've got to give credit to Mexico, the way that they defended. All the wide men, they dropped back in and made it difficult for the Brazilians. But where's the old Ronaldo for Brazil? Where's the goal scorer? Hulk's out with a hamstring injury. They even bring Joe on to try and change things up and get a goal. These are world superstars like a Neymar and a goal scorer, and you're always looking at Brazil and having renowned goal scorers. So yesterday was a little bit of a wobble for me for them, but at the end of the day, 4 points after 2 games.
What surprising thing for me was, I think the kind of openings Brazil are known to make. They've not been having that open clear-cut opportunities, which in the first match as well we saw it. The goal Neymar scored was something which he took out of nowhere and took the shot. But as a Brazilian team, when you're playing against a team like Croatia or you're playing a team like Mexico, I think we would definitely see more openings. I can understand if the chances are missed. We've had more scoring opportunities, but it's been missed. But we've not been able to see even the opportunities. Yesterday, yes, I think there were a few with the goalkeeper outstanding, Mexican goalkeeper outstanding.
He was just brilliant yesterday, wasn't he?
He's had loads of practice this year, because he was at Ajaccio, who finished bottom of the French League One.
Yeah.
So, and they were awful, and he hasn't had the best season himself. But to step up at the big stage, and Baichung will tell you, when you make that step to the next level, and when you're playing in the big games on a big occasion, You know, to put in a performance like that was absolutely remarkable.
That one stop of the Neymar header, that was worth its weight in gold, wasn't it?
I think that was one of the best saves of yesterday, but also that save, I think, gave him a lot of confidence to carry out the rest of the matches with so much confidence. And the great thing about the goalkeeper yesterday was he was in the right places. You know, the best goalkeepers around the world are the ones who gets into right position. You know, the best goalkeepers in the world, I feel, are the ones who do not dive so much because they're already in a great position. So I think yesterday the way he's come out, made his angles narrow for the strikers. Everything what he did yesterday, I felt was perfectly right. And as Paul just said, you know, I think you've got to rise yourself in the big occasions. And he's had a bad season with the French league. I think he's a free agent as well.
Yeah,
so after yesterday's match, I think there would be some clubs, you know, looking for him to sign him. And I hope his career, you know, goes on. Really
there's some checkbooks that have opened after last night, haven't they?
Man United, Liverpool showing interest already.
I'm an Arsenal fan, so they always look for good goalkeepers.
Well, you could do with one. But the flip to all of this is what Baichung's saying about the keeper being in the right position. And this goes back to what I was saying a little bit earlier. The finishing, right? Where is your old Ronaldo, who would have known where the keeper was, who would have just put it and slotted it to the side, that would have scored those opportunities and chances?
The chance with Joe also, Mace, I mean, now that you're talking about that, I just want to lead you to that. The chance that Joe had, I mean, as you're saying, he probably could have, he had time for another touch, didn't he?
Yeah. Of course, he had time to sit on the ball and have a cup of tea before he hit the ball goal bound. So, I mean, that's how much time he had, and he created for himself.
Let's see, where could I hit this one? Perhaps here, perhaps there.
Yeah, but that's where a good player and a great player distinguish themselves. Because the great player knows exactly what to do when that ball's at his feet. A good player has a hesitation, and that moment of hesitation takes the opportunity away.
But as a striker, Baichung, I want to get, like, trying to get inside Joe's head at that time. You know, the goalkeeper's having a brilliant game. That's playing in your...
Seems to be a problem. Manan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I've lost feed.
There's a problem.
Yeah.
Had a brilliant day in defense, or Brazil, who had a shocker up front?
I think a bit of both. If you look at the flip side, Mexico are the only side, or they're the best side to have beaten Brazil on the most occasions this century, and they
2012 Olympics.
Yeah, they do well against them, and it's just the setup and the makeup of the way they are. They play in the Copa America as well on occasions, and they give them a hard time there. You've got to say that tactically it was spot on from the Mexicans. Absolutely 100% spot on. They quelled the threat of Neymar, they quelled the threat of Oscar, that's gone. They've got no striker, so all of a sudden there's 3 or 4 players, key players, that are missing from that Brazil team. But Brazil, they're the hosts. They're the ones that should be playing with flair and expression, like we saw in the first game after the hour mark, or after the half-hour mark, when they started to get things going. That's what the Brazilian fans want to see. So disappointment, big disappointment from Brazil. It was a step back instead of a step forward, because you expect teams to grow as the competition goes on. They've gone back a little bit, so that you can expect a big performance from them in the third group game. But Mexico, fair play.
Well, you know, we're all emotional about the game last night because nobody really expected that goalless draw in Brazil and Mexico, which is why we've started then. But now we will get back on track, and let's have a look from the beginning at World Cup 2014 so far. Starting from the beginning, gentlemen, we'll start, of course, with the Brazil, the opening game. You've got the entire country. You've got the World Cup that's come to you after, such a long wait. They're all praying and hoping that a Brazilian hits the back of the net really soon, and it happened.
Yes.
And as they say, just be careful what you wish for, and make sure your prayers are complete. Because Marcelo hit, really, I mean, I've asked every footballing expert I've met so far. I'm going to ask a player now. You do that. The moment, nobody needs to tell you how big that moment is, and then you hit the back of your own net, you get an own goal. Then what's going on in Marcelo's head at that point in time? Does he just want to take a hole?
No, I think you've got to feel, bad about the self goal which you scored. But I think it's very important that the player just tries to forget and carry on with the game, because that's the quality of a big player. You make mistakes, but if you go on thinking about the mistake you made, or you've just been thinking about the self goal you've scored, then I think the rest of the 90 minutes is just going to be more horrible for you. So I think it's important that any professional players, which I think almost every player in the World Cup would do, is whatever mistakes you make, just forget it and carry on with the game. And I thought Marcelo just did the same.
Wasn't really his fault, though, to be fair.
He had to defend the ball. That was the thing. And when the ball's whipped in like that, as a defender, you have to defend. I could tell you what he said, but it couldn't be repeated, so we'll leave it at that.
Should we just beep it?
Yeah, it's a big beep. It is one of those.
I thought the mistake was more from Dani Alves than Marcelo, because
Correct.
Dani Alves was nowhere to be seen.
Yep.
Every time, every attack what Croatians made in that first match, in the first 15 minutes, was every time from the right-hand side. So all the attacker, left midfield was playing, went past through Dani Alves all the time. So we couldn't actually see Dani Alves in the first 15 minutes, and the goal that happened also was from the right-hand side, which Croatian left-hand side always crossed it. I don't blame Marcelo, because he tried doing his best. He couldn't see the ball. It came, it was a low cross. There were players in front of him. So it's sad he scored the first goal in the World Cup towards his own net, but I don't blame him for that.
This is when you're playing an attacking team like Brazil, and this is why he was caught out of position and had to trap back in, like Baichung said, because the two fullbacks bomb on. Yeah. So Alves, there was a massive hole there, and that was something that Croatia were exploiting time and time again. Because Marcelo's pushed on as well, you've got the two centre-halves sitting there, David Luiz and Thiago Silva, right? And when somebody makes a run, you've got to get back in, and that's why it's not so much his mistake, because Alves was in the middle of nowhere, the ball played in when it was whipped in, and Marcelo's busting his guts to get back in there to try and defend, but because he's got to try and tuck in and cover, you've got to defend it, so it just hits you and goes in the back of the net. It happens.
We obviously, the world's attention was on Neymar, 22-year-old star, but the man of the match for you guys, was it Oscar in that opening match?
100%. He was stunning. I thought they played a really good game. He was the one that made everything happen. His passing, his movement, everything was completely spot on, and it was an all and well-rounded performance from a youngster.
And very selfless, wasn't it, the way he was playing that day for Brazil?
For me, when Brazilian came up with the first 11 lineup, I was a bit surprised actually, though Oscar was supposed to play, but I was not too sure, because he's not had many matches for his club back in Chelsea, so he's not in that kind of form, or say in that kind of match practice which any other players would be having it. So I was a bit skeptical about really actually Oscar really starting and really doing well. But as the game progressed, I think he was the best player on the field that day.
Yeah, it was fantastic, and got the reward with that goal in the end, didn't he? Let's have a look at now the other game that obviously garnered a lot of attention. It was the defending champion Spain playing against Netherlands, and again, gentlemen, you would have to have been mildly drunk to predict that this game would have gone this way, wouldn't you?
No.
No, you
yes,
absolutely
no. All the talk has been that Spain's going to whitewash everybody again. They're going to clean the floor, and I said that for me, what's going to happen in this one is it's going to be a very tough game. I still saw Spain winning. Don't get me wrong, but I just felt that the Dutch, right place at the right time. They're galvanised under Van Gaal, the way that they're looking. And I think that this Spanish side has got old together. I think it was shown up last year in the Confederations Cup, where it needed fresh faces. Yeah. And for Xavi, for all the wonderful player that he's been over the past few years, the legs aren't there anymore. It's an ageing Spanish side. And the Dutch have got a lot of good youngsters in the middle of the park and in defence that can make that running. And I felt that this was going to be a real tough test for Spain. And as it turned out, no one could have predicted 5-1. Yeah. I mean, if you did, you'd be a millionaire now by just putting $10 on, because 5-1 result against the reigning champions. But you can't write Spain off, because let's not forget they lost against Switzerland in the first round, the first game 4 years ago. They went on to win the trophy, but he's got big problems there, and he needs to make serious changes to that
Interesting
team.
point you say about aging legs. You saw Robin at the end of the game. He didn't look like there's any age on those legs.
Yeah, but he's 30.
Yeah.
Xavi's what, 34?
Yeah.
There's a few. Trust me, once you get past 30, it's a lot harder to recover. It's a lot harder to get fit. That's why the experience comes in.
I wouldn't know. I'm not 30 yet. Liar. But Baichung, really, as Mace is saying, 5-1, Netherlands beating Spain. Just nobody could have predicted that, really.
Not at all. Even I did say that Spain is going to win this match. Maybe fought closely, but I always thought that Spain is going to win. And also, but I knew that Van Persie coming into this match was not 100% fit. So he had been sitting out due to injury. But the way I think the Spanish did control it. But I think that first goal from Van Persie, and
brilliant.
I think that was the complete turning point. We didn't see Van Persie so much involved with the game, and that was one moment of brilliance when there was a long ball from blind, and which was perfect 50-yarder. And I think that goal which he scored was completely a striker's goal, because he knew exactly where goalkeeper Casillas was coming, and he just had to connect it and lob it over the goalkeeper. But that's a brilliant goal. But I think that's where quality players can turn around the match, and that's what Van Persie did single-handedly with the first goal on that match.
For the interesting trivia or statistic with Spain there was that they gave away more goals in this one match than they did in the 2010 World Cup and Euro 2012 combined. Do you think they've gotten over it yet? I hope they have.
Argentina, it's going to happen. Trust me.
Casillas not even been playing for Madrid.
Casillas hasn't been playing. You've got David Costa who's struggling, right? Yeah. Because there's no way that you're telling me he's fit when he missed the Champions League 2.5, 3 weeks ago. There's no way he's fit. He should never have started, in my opinion. And Casillas, they've got to make a change. That's why I said that, Del Bosque has a lot of thinking to do here, because they've got the aging legs, you've got players that haven't played as regularly as they should do. He's got injured players that he's throwing in as well. It's a recipe for disaster. You've got to make sure now that you go out there, no matter what. I think we'll see Spain bounce straight back. There's no question about that. But he's got decisions to make.
I know there's a lot of United fans who'd be very happy to see how the Dutch went.
But I wasn't too sure about the defensive pairing of Piqué and Ramos as well. I think both one play in Real Madrid, one plays in Barcelona. So I think the pairing as well, I wasn't too sure, and both of them seem nowhere in that particular match. So I hope today when Spain plays again, I think there are going to be changes in defense line. Maybe Rodriguez, if I'm not wrong, with Bayern Munich, he might come back and in place of Gerard Piqué as well.
Quick question on Costa. When you've left the country, you're playing for another one, you come back to your own country, and obviously there's been a lot of sort of negativity around that, because the Brazilians are all heart and they're not happy about that. Baichung, playing in front of a crowd when you can just feel the negativity on you, can that sort of claw at you sometimes?
It does. I think it makes a big difference for a player, because you've gone to play there and the entire stadium just don't want you to succeed.
Yeah.
Though it's as a player, Costa would experience that when he plays in his Spanish league, when he travels for away matches. But I think for a country that time, and for him as well, coming back from injury, not 100% fit, and then crowd just going against you, I think does have a psychological effect though. And I felt that did also, the game he plays for the club Atletico Madrid, we couldn't see the same Costa, maybe because of injury as well. But I think that environment, the crowd just being against you, where you think that it's a neutral crowd, where you think I'm a Brazilian and I need to get support, and you suddenly see that your own Brazilian.
I don't think he was expecting any support there in Brazil, was he?
So I think that did affect him a bit.
Yeah. Has that happened to you? Do you remember any incident where the crowd's just so much behind you, you just feel you've got an extra yard of pace?
Absolutely. Whenever I played for my own home team in India as well, you're playing for East Bengal, and you're playing a home match in Calcutta and playing against a away team which comes from Goa or somewhere else, it makes a huge difference. When you've got fans behind you, when you're making those runs and you hear that 100,000 people screaming to run even faster, then you start running even faster. So it really makes a big difference, and psychologically it makes a big it gives you a lot of confidence. It really carries you when you're really tired. You push more when your fans supporting you.
Yeah, that can be really loud. Have you ever seen a game at Salt Lake Stadium in Kolkata?
I've not seen one there, no. I've played in a couple of games where I know what Baichung's talking about, where you've got 40,000 people urging you to go on, and it does make a huge, huge difference. But hopefully one day I'll get to go down to the Salt Lake, and I'm sure that me and Baichung will go down and watch a game at some stage.
Absolutely.
Just watch it together. I'll come along with you. So 110,000. There's 110,000 people in there. People in Kolkata really love their football, don't they? But Mace, you'd be interested in this, though. Talking about getting booed and jeered, England copped a fair bit when they walked onto the pitch, didn't they, the other day?
Just a little bit, didn't they? But to be fair, the media back in the UK has been quite calm. They enjoyed the they enjoyed the performance.
Okay, hang on 1 second. Stop the press right here.
No,
the media in England has been calm
because they haven't gone over the top in the pre build-up. Whereas we expect this. And what it is they've turned around and said, okay, well, let's see what's going to happen this year. We're not going to get out the group phase. This is the negativity that's going on in the UK at the moment. We're not going to get out the group. We're going to struggle. But let's see how the team goes. This is Roy Hodgson trying to build and prepare for the Euros. But at the end of the day, I said all along, if he gives the kids a chance, they'll have a go. And there were a lot of fresh legs in there. There were a lot of youngsters playing for England. And to be fair, you know, it was a bit of magic from Balotelli that separated the two sides. And, of course, the long-range strike that Pirlo stepped over as well. But England scored a great goal as well. And but the most important thing is that the people back there, I think there's a little bit of pride back in English football because of the performance. And that's a big, big thing back in England now because they've been in the doldrums since 1966 where we never won anything. You know, we lost the semi-final.
There was, if I remember, there was a fair play award that Gary Lineker picked up once.
Yeah, that'd be a fair play. That means that you don't tackle. If you win the fair play, it means you're rubbish and you don't tackle. That's
carry on, please. Go right ahead, if you would. But yeah, isn't it? I mean, listen, it's a team that has Gerrard and Sterling and Sturridge will obviously have a little bit of my support being a Liverpool fan, but it's just an exercise in heartbreak supporting England, isn't it? At the World Cup.
You want to try being English?
Even worse than, isn't it? Well, one of the reasons they got booed is there was a lot of complaints that were sort of coming out of the England camp about the weather and about the conditions and about the game. And even though Steven Gerrard and Roy Hodgson had a press conference before that, and I don't know if you saw that, Mace, but they said categorically, weather's not bad. Stevie said that, you know, sun comes down, evening game is going to be fine. We've seen the pitch, we like it, everything is fine. But the Brazilians are passionate people. If they've gone against you, then they're not coming back in a hurry.
No, I can understand that, you know, but I think if you look at England's point of view, I think that it's a fair comment because when you come from England, you're playing in such cold conditions, and your league is, you know, most of the time during a very cold season, so it actually becomes very, very difficult to come to Brazil and play in that kind of temperature and play the first match as well. So it does affect performance for any player because I've experienced that myself when playing in India and going to play in some colder areas. It really affects the performance. So for England as well, and what Roy Hodgson said was completely true. It's for both the teams, but the quality of the game does go down. So people watching it, viewing all across the world, would not really enjoy the match because if it slows down, and which it has been, you know, I was watching Germany, which they won as well. Even that match, Germany was just, you know, the pace of the game was quite slow. I think it's a lot to do with the heat and humidity and the temperature as well. So I think it was fair point from Roy Hodgson, but overall it was good to see a different England team after, you know, so many years, because England goes out of the tournament, loses match, and they say they played really bad. But this was the time when they lost the match and they said, yes, we played well. And I think it's the same like Germany. Germany, I hope Paul, you know, would remember this. Germans, when they won any tournament, they used to play boring, odd football and win the tournament. And everybody's like, let German get out of this tournament. We would like Germany to get out.
The 1990 final, I remember.
So now, if you see Germany, they're a different side. So I think England could also, in few years' time, get into what Germans have done it, you know, in the last couple of years.
They need though to send players abroad. That's just a little sideshow, as it were. But you've got all the players playing in England. Who else plays abroad? Right, no one. Whereas you have a look at the Italian squad, the French squad, the German squad. They're playing in Spain, France, Italy, England. They're playing all over the place. So they're getting seasoned against top-class international players from all different countries. It's not like the English. Maybe it's to do with the money because of the Barclays Premier League, but it's bang. That's where all the English players play, and they're so close-minded that that's where we're going to stay. No one's got an open mind. Beckham was the one. Michael Owen had an open mind to go and try something somewhere else. So
Yes,
fair
yeah.
play to them. But we need young players to go and get those opportunities abroad as well.
We have to say, though, Indian fans are looking at the temperature and going, it was 34, 33 degrees. What's the fuss about? That's a pleasant day. It's a real pleasant day. But that's,
You try playing in it.
yeah. And, but that's like,
I played worse temperatures
you
than that
played,
in
have
India.
you played
know,
Saudi
played
Arabia?
40 degrees and all that. The local leagues which happen in India,
yeah.
it's like they don't really care. 2 o'clock in the afternoon,
Yep.
around March, April. So they don't really care. They just want the tournament to get over. The match has to be done. Forget the quality of the game. Forget the results. The match has to be done.
Just
The
get to
tournament
90
has to be
minutes
done.
without dying.
Yeah, that's it. We have to finish this tournament. We've got to do this tournament. That's it.
But that's like, you'd say the same when we're shivering in like 5 or 6 degrees, right? You're going to be like, this is a nice summer's day in London.
Yeah, I must be honest. When it gets a bit cool and I'm wearing a T-shirt whenever I go back to the UK, people say you must be mental. It's like 14, 15 degrees, which is quite pleasant.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, oh, that's beautiful, and they're all going.
Fantastic. Well, let's move on now. We were talking, Sunil just touched upon the Germany-Portugal game, and that game also had quite a few shockers in there, didn't it? The big games have somehow, two of these big games, Spain, Netherlands, of course, gave us a result that no one expected. With Germany and Portugal also, the scoreline, probably nobody expected, but let's talk about first the shocking incident that happened there. Sunil, you just used the line, the heat makes you lose your head. Happened to Pepe, didn't he? Completely lost his head.
I think that was very, very stupid of Pepe to, after pushing and not elbowing, but after, whatever incident happened, to come back and then come and headbutt, I think was very, very silly. Because first of all, I think Pepe, having played in Real Madrid, when he got the ball, the easiest thing was to pass it to the goalkeeper to clear it or something else. But he wanted to do something stupid, dribble past the defender, and made it more difficult for himself. Yeah. And after doing that, after the ball has been given, the foul has been given, he comes back and tries and headbutts it. The foul was not even given.
Yeah, it wasn't. They had possession of the ball.
They've allowed play to carry on. And it's a palm off. I mean, that happens when somebody's chasing you, you put your arm out just to protect, and he just caught him on the lip. But I'm telling you now, overrated, idiot, stupid. And I'm telling you, in that order, because he's an overrated player anyway, right? Because just because he plays for Real Madrid, he thinks he's God's gift to football as a defender. As a defender, you've got to tackle, you head the ball, and when it's at your feet, if someone's closing you down, you pass it or you clear it, right? It's as simple as that. Idiotic in the fact of play on. You've gone past the man, no problem, pass the ball, push up and just go, okay, I'll remember. 5 more minutes, when you get that ball at your feet, bang, I'm going to let you know you're in a game. Stupidity, because he's got form. He's done this before, where he's lost his rag, he's lost his cool.
10-match suspension, didn't he get once?
To go back and headbutt someone who's on the floor. Are you stupid? I'm being serious. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. Get on with the game. Get on with the game. Play the game. No one wants to see that. What, does he just want to make a name for himself? I think he's bottled it because he knows. He knows.
I think the fall was also not given. The game was going on, and he just comes back and headbutts that. That's very, very stupid. But also, as a defender, if you're a talented, good, intelligent defender, you just do is play it safe. That place, you don't want to dribble anyone. If you miss the ball, next thing you know is 1 goal down.
Yeah.
So no matter how much, if you dribble 5 players in that area as well, you're never going to score or you're never going to do anything. Yeah. But you dribble one and lose that ball, next thing you know is one goal down. So I think for a good defender, anytime in that area is just to play safe and stand free and support the guy whom you pass the ball. So I think for me, what Paul said is completely right. I think he's been overrated. He plays in Real Madrid. I think he must have thought that I can dribble past a defender or something like that. But good defender would never take a risk in front of the goal.
Jose Mourinho's comments, have you read those?
No, I didn't. What were they? Those are always fun, aren't they?
Brilliant. He's turned around and he said today in the press back in the UK, he's gone overrated player and that, but needs to learn to keep his head. He's done all this before because he's not even Portuguese. Do you need to say any more?
Nothing. You love Mourinho. He just sort of has a habit of summing it up. Didn't he once say, doesn't matter, it's football? When they were saying you're going to be leaving soon. Yeah, Mourinho's always up for a quarter and a half. No, but after Pepe left, he lost his head, he did that. 10-man Portugal against the precision of Germany was just, they never stood a chance.
I think after going 1 man down, they would never have come back. Yes, there was an occasion when they were 3-0 up. There was a genuine penalty which Portuguese should have got it. Yep. It was a genuine penalty which the referee did not give it. But for them to come back and even get a draw was impossible. Even with 11 men as well, I think Portugal had no chance, because till they were 11 as well, 2-0 down, I think Germany was all over and they were dominating and keeping the ball and just making Portuguese run around. So I didn't see them with even 11 men winning that or even drawing the game, but with 10 men, I think it just went to impossible.
Yeah.
Germans just went like that, took the foot off the gas and just went, okay, we'll just pass the ball and keep it now. You do what you want to do, no problem. You've got 10 men. We know that we've got another big game in 3 days' time. I'm just going to pass this nice and simple and see where it goes. The one thing I will say about Germany, I'm 100% not sure about Lam being as a holding midfielder. He's a brilliant fullback, a great defender, and I just wonder if a little bit later on, when they come up against quality opposition, if that's going to be shown up. I mean, it's one for the future. It was a brilliant team performance, don't get me wrong, but that's just something to keep an eye on for the latter stages of the competition.
Are they one of your favourites, Aichan?
Yes, they are my favourites to win the World Cup. Before the World Cup started, I had 4 teams that were favourites: Argentina, Brazil, Spain and Germany. But if you rate out of 4, I think
Germany with your bases there.
This is completely safe.
No, this was also a lot to really predict the winner. Also, I think it's important that how they perform during the tournament, because it's very important. You can have the best of team, like what we're seeing Brazil right now. They have the players, but now at the moment, if you look at it, I don't see them actually going after second round, because I feel that Brazil is most probably going to meet Spain in the second round when it goes to knockout stage, and I don't see Brazil actually winning that match. So it all also depends on the kind of performance, because knockout tournament like a World Cup, I think your peak has to go with the matches which you play. So at the moment, I feel Germany, out of the 3, I think Germany is the favorite to win, and then if I have to come second, would be actually Spain, despite 5-1.
Despite that,
5-1.
Because you look at that and what you're saying, from there they can only improve, right?
Absolutely.
It can only get better after that, what happened in the first game for them against the Netherlands. All right, as we told you today, we have a lot of fans, of course, who are joining us on our Google Hangout. And as you saw, I had quite a few questions to ask Baichung and Paul, and I'm sure you guys do as well. We have another fan, we have a celebrity fan who's joining us now. We all know that he loves football, and he has a few questions as well. So I said, hey buddy, so what if you support another club? Come on over, have a chat with us, join us. So please, if we could welcome Chelsea fan. There he is, Abhishek Bachchan. How's it going, buddy? Good to see you.
I know. How are you? How are you? Yeah, good. Are you Cap? Good.
Listen, I know that some of the guys told me that you were having a few digs at me as well about Liverpool, so I thought might as well. When you have the power, you must use it. Use the power of the media. How are you, Abhishek?
I'm very well, thank you.
Got a sleepless nights with the football?
Yes, and the basketball, but thankfully that's over now. So, so it's just football, yeah. Disappointing night last night for a Brazil fan, though. But we'll come around.
So far, what have been the high points of it for you? Because I know you've been watching pretty much almost every game, but what have been the bits that you've enjoyed most?
I think the greatest thing with most World Cups is the fact that the underdog always gets to shine.
Yeah.
And I think the greatest thing about the World Cup so far is that you see, usually when you come onto a platform like the World Cup, you have a lot of the smaller teams who get a bit reticent about the way they're going to play. But I think what's really encouraging is to see that each and every team that has made it to the finals has actually come out all guns blazing. And I think that's refreshing, because suddenly the smaller teams or the perceived underdogs are going out there and saying, no, we're not going to lie down and give it to you easy. We're going to make a fight out of it. I mean, not that Netherlands is an underdog, but I think the attitude with which they played just said that, look, it's revenge. And you might be one of the highest ranked teams in the world, but we're not going to respect that at all. I think what Mexico did yesterday was absolutely brilliant. I'm a Brazil fan, and just to see the tactics and the will with which they played was outstanding.
But we know that there's a lot. Your dad's a huge sports fan,
Yes.
and not just football. I read his tweets after a cricket game, after a hockey game, after football. So, do you guys end up watching some games together as well?
The tradition is to watch the World Cup together.
Okay.
And actually, he introduced me to football in '82 at the World Cup, and he's a die-hard Brazilian fan with Garincha and Pele and all these guys. So he introduced me to football and to Brazilian football. And then I paid back the favor and made him a Chelsea fan after that. So the tradition is yeah, slight payoff there. But the tradition is to sit down together and watch it together. Unfortunately, I was away at work in London when the World Cup opened. So for the Brazil match in London, he was here. But we're always on the phone. And the tradition is whoever is out and available to, we buy jerseys for each other.
Yeah.
Put the jerseys on and sit down and watch together. And we're a bit paranoid about superstition. So we sit in the same place.
No kidding, right?
Yeah. I'm not kidding. And wear similar jerseys. Make sure if in the past match you've won wearing something, you have to wear the same thing again. So this is like a sporting ritual in our house, pretty much for every sport, be it cricket, football. I mean, when the league is on, then if you decide for which is the Chelsea jersey that's going to be lucky for you.
Yeah.
And you wear that throughout the season, and you sit in the same place, you eat the same food. Don't allow anybody else to talk. And
But
so we're very
So that's with club, but with country, is there any jersey that you particularly find lucky, or does he find lucky? Is there one that you could buy him that would just be cold for him?
He's not as such a stickler for it when it comes to the jerseys.
Yeah.
About sitting in the same place and that kind of stuff. Decorum, yes.
Yeah.
So I just got him the new Brazil jersey, so he's been wearing that. I've been wearing the Brazil jersey from the 2002 World Cup.
Okay.
For obvious reasons. And so we're very ritualistic about these things. And I think that adds to the whole flavor of the World Cup. I think everybody in their house or wherever they watch matches has a particular ritual that they like to follow.
But that's the beauty, guys, isn't it? I mean, you watch a game and you support a game when you're emotionally involved in the result.
I think now, Abhishek, after yesterday's match, you might have to
change the season.
I have to tell you, Bachung, that I was wearing shorts that I've never worn before yesterday. So those shorts, it was the shorts. It had nothing to do with the team. It was all me. So, but I mean, you can't take away from the Mexicans. I think they were just brilliant.
Yeah.
And I heard that they're nominating Ochoa for president now.
Yeah.
So he's going to be running for president after this.
Shut down defense.
Unbelievable.
That's it. Nobody gets in anymore. I've got a wall here.
I think they just stuck to their strategy and tactically just absolutely brilliant. And to shut down a team like Brazil with the kind of individual talent that they have, and let alone the individual talent, the talent that they can merge together as a team was fantastic. I think it all laid a lot in their formation. I think shutting down the midfield was a big thing for them. The way they were closing down the players was brilliant. They did not allow them time on the ball. And if you see, I think Peralta said it also in one of his interviews, that the way to beat the Brazilians is don't allow them to play their football. Because the minute they start dictating the pace to you, you've had it. Which showed near the end of the match when they had those 2 shots on goal.
Yeah.
But it was just fantastic. And again, interesting because suddenly you have these giants of football. And suddenly, a team like Mexico comes by and says, "No, it's not such a big deal, and we're gonna make a fight out of it." And look at what Costa Rica did.
Yeah,
outstanding. So I just says, they open up the World Cup, makes it that much more interesting, and you cannot leave any match today. You get tired by 3:30, or like let me go to sleep, and then the Russia-Korea match happens, and at the end of the match, that's what goes on. Same with the USA match. It's crazy.
And some matches, there's also some that are happening even after that. There's some 4-game days as well. So
yeah, but I think both of them. You're gonna call in sick.
Yeah. I think I think it's happening already. I think you may need to like me like Pacino by the end of it. Just have likes below for the dark circles.
I think it's great though, honestly, that fans actually are like that. They're like players. Yeah. Players are exactly the same. Yeah. Superstitions.
Very.
Don't tell me that you didn't used to put your shin pads on before you put your boots on, or you have to touch something.
You
wear the same pants.
Yeah.
Everything's
what
the
was
same.
It for you?
For me was always wearing left boot first, then my right boot. So, but I'm more worried on Brazil is if Cameroon goes on to beat Croatia, then Mexico is going to play. It's already beaten.
Right.
Beaten Cameroon. So if Cameroon beats Croatia, and then they're going to come last match to play against Brazil, where it's a do and die for Cameroon.
Yeah.
So it could be a very, very.
It's going to be scrappy.
There's a lot of
very
combinations actually now in Group A. Thanks to the draw yesterday, you suddenly got a lot happening. So it's not just Group D that we're talking about anymore, Mace. All the groups are sort of ending up becoming interesting.
Still fancy Croatia to go through second. I really
they're
do.
a strong team.
Yeah, they're very strong. I mean, you have a look at the squad, and man for man, when you've got someone like Modric in there who's pulling the strings, and
Rakitic is playing great.
He had a fantastic game the other
He
day.
just signed with Barca as well.
It just happens. Those games against Brazil, they happen. And let's not forget, it was a goal in what, the 90th minute, the 91st minute, that just sealed it. So they weren't too far out of that game. So they've still got a chance to go through as long as they get the result tonight.
I'm going to ask you all a very difficult question. It is because there's been a lot of goals in this World Cup, but pick your favorite. Anybody can go first.
Van Persie.
Van Persie?
Header. Got to be.
I have a feeling that
Unquestionable.
Yeah?
You know, the funny thing is, the Netherlands match, Netherlands-Spain started. I was flying back from London, so I was in the lounge and in Heathrow, so you can just imagine what was going on over there. And unfortunately, we had to board the flight, and there were about 15 guys who were literally trying to break down the cockpit door to request the captain, please give us like a live feed.
Yeah.
And thankfully, the captain was a Netherlands fan, so he was on with the tower. So throughout the flight, there were people just waiting in the galley saying, what's the score, what's the score? It was insane.
So you were in the air when Van Persie was in the air?
No, I saw that.
Oh, you saw that?
I saw that and then rushed into the plane. But it was brilliant. I think his goal has been outstanding.
I think not just the goal and not just the effort, but where it came in the game and what it did to the team.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. I think that brought Holland into the game, and till then I felt Van Persie himself was nowhere near to his best, and that one magic moment actually turned and gave a lot of confidence to the Holland side as well. And that happened just before the break. So
it just gave them belief. I think, you know, when you're playing at a stage like the World Cup, I mean, you know, there's a lot of the exterior sound that starts influencing the media, this, that, and these are two teams that get a lot of media attention.
Yeah.
And Van Persie's had such an outstanding season at United this year that I think, you know, coming off that one goal and suddenly he was a different player.
You were very happy about it, weren't you?
Of course I was.
The thing is, the Dutch aren't arguing this year amongst themselves, which is a problem.
The French as well.
The French as well. The French in the last World Cup, the Dutch in the last World Cup, and the World Cup before that. The Dutch always fall down when it comes to the last hurdle because they all want to outdo each other, and there's always big
playing as a team
going on. Here, Van Gaal's just turned around and gone, I'm having none of that.
Yeah.
Bang, finished.
Correct.
You play as a team. If not, get out. I'll play with whatever I've got left. And I think that respect has not gone to the players, and that discipline showed in that second half performance as well.
It did.
Well, we've got, of course, as we said on the Hangout, we've got some people joining us. We've got some die-hard football fans. I think, Ashwin, do we have Ashwin who's joining us first?
Yes, I'm here, Gaurav.
Can you tell me what's been your moment of the World Cup so far, Ashwin?
The defining moment for me would be Robin Van Persie's looping header. I mean, 17 yards out, and you just take the ball, and that pass was also brilliant. Right from the technique to the attitude to the execution, it was just perfect. And the whole thing changed. The move, as we just spoke, the move, the distance, and Netherlands were on a rampage after that. Robin started playing really well. Van Persie started playing really well. And that went on to become a 5-1 dropping against Spain, who were the world champions. And especially when you're like, you know, you've already lost a goal, penalty. I'd expect any team would be low on morale, but Van Persie just went all out. It was amazing to see that. And let's not forget that this is going to be that image of Van Persie jumping for that header is going to be displayed all over. We've already seen the memes. It's going to be all over the internet. It's going to be a phenomenon. It's called. It is a phenomenon already. It's called Persieing. So that was the. I mean, no doubt that was the defining moment for me. And it's hard for me to appreciate Van Persie as an Arsenal fan, but that was awesome.
Fantastic. Well, Ashwin,
being an Arsenal fan, he's going to have to appreciate a lot many other players.
We've just spoken about that, and everyone's talking about that goal, just the effort, when he did it, how he did it, what it did to the team. It's been fantastic. We've got Jay joining us now. Jay, is it Jay Thakkar?
Yeah, that's me.
Looking at the way things are now and based on current form, which team are you backing now, Jay?
Like Baichung said, I did all my simulations at the start of the tournament, and
did you also pick 4 and be safe like him?
Yeah, I had the same 4. Brazil, Germany first semi-finals. The second semi-finals was supposed to be Spain versus Argentina, but now after Netherlands beat Spain, it's going to be Spain versus Brazil in the round of 16. It is what it looks like, and Netherlands would meet Argentina in the second semis. I think looking at the current form, it's too early. It's just been one game. There are going to be a lot of matches. So it's just based on one game. I would say Germany and Netherlands, might end up reaching the finals. Although Brazil, Argentina are definitely going to be in the semis. I still feel they'll be in the semis, but Germany, Netherlands are going to be very interesting to watch. These four teams, very interesting to watch how they cope in the semis.
Excellent, Jay. It's interesting though, right? We've only seen every team once, except leave alone Brazil and Mexico. We've seen them twice. But do you think sometimes it's almost a little too presumptuous of us to just make these calls after one game?
I think at times, because we've seen the Brazilians take a step backwards. They haven't gone forwards. We expected them to come out with a little bit more gusto and build on what they did in the first game. And that's what's going to happen now for every team going into this second round. It's going to be, as you said, and as Baichung said a little bit earlier on, it's how you advance and grow into a competition. It's not just about playing the best game that you can on day one. You've got to play your best game that you can in the final. So you've got to build up slowly to that, and you've got to each time increase the quality, increase the tempo, increase the level. So until we see the next round of fixtures, it should give us a clear idea on who we believe will go straight through.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of teams also, Gaurav, that are going to start opening up now. I was crushed to see Belgium yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I've tagged them down as one of the dark horses of the tournament, and to see they just played with no interest. They just weren't bothered, And to see the kind of players that they have, I mean, they shut down Hazard, which was fine, but to see people like Lukaku and De Bruyne, and they just weren't playing with any motivation. And I think that's something that's going to start kicking in now. I think some teams just need like a rude awakening, which I think is what they got, despite the win. You could see, you saw the Algerians. They were up for it. They were ready for a fight. They were going for it. And I think that's what's going to start happening with teams. So there's still a lot of teams you cannot write off. I think what happened to Brazil last night, for any Brazilian fan out there, is good, because I think it's going to wake the team up. It's going to wake up Scolari as well. I hope he doesn't start Fred anymore.
Yeah, he just had a shocker yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah. It was just crazy. It was crazy. And I've never been a fan of Fred's. I think he's very lazy. He's just used to getting great service. But when you've got the kind of midfield behind you, I don't think you really need service when they can take care of business themselves.
Yeah.
And so I think this is going to wake up teams. So it's just going to get more interesting.
And yesterday he was it was like, Fred, where are you off to? He's just offside.
He played like Fred Flintstone. He did. It was awful. And then they bring on Joe. I mean, that's why I say Brazil, the one thing they're lacking is an out-and-out striker, someone who can put the ball in the back of the net 6 times.
Something like Spain as well. Spain was going through that same phase as well.
Maybe they just take Costa back. Come on, now that you're here, son.
It's not rugby. You can't do that. In football, when you pin your allegiance to a country, that's it.
That's it. You're done. That's true. That is the FIFA regulation. If you've played an international fixture for one country,
a
full international, then you can't.
But what Abhishek was saying was, I think I was watching Belgium yesterday, and for me, for me as well, Belgium were the dark horses. But looking at their game yesterday, I felt that they are one of the teams that can actually go on to the final and maybe win it as well. Because
they have the talent.
The players that came from the bench, and especially the young striker, we had Lukaku starting up, and he was not doing much. But I thought, somebody young player coming in, and when he got into the field, he was outstanding. So I think the bench strength as well, what Belgium's side they have, and the way they played yesterday, despite Algerians really defending in big numbers and making it very difficult, Belgians were, in terms of keeping the ball, passing around, and they looked. They had second option as well.
What they're capable of yesterday. Yeah. And I think Mertens' goal, if you see, you got a glimpse of what they're capable of. They just have to. I mean, yes, the Algerians were playing very deep. They were defending in numbers, but I think you got a glimpse of what Belgium can do if they're awake. I think Origi coming on played fantastically.
But Wilmot's got it wrong then, because what he's got to do is he's got to start. Today's Mertens had a great league season in Italy this year. Fellaini hasn't played so fresh, but has been playing well at international level.
Yeah.
Those two come on and score a goal. We haven't seen Januzaj yet, another player. Or him. And you've got the young lad that came on, the 19-year-old. I can't even pronounce his name. So I'm not.
Origi.
I said I've not seen anyone as quick as that for a lot since the Olympics. Honestly, I'm telling you, I bet you he can run the 100 meters in 10.5, just over 10.
He was quick.
Yeah. We might see it. We've got. We'll quickly sprint across to the next person we have on our Hangout. We've got Manan Vora, who's joining us. Manan, you were extremely surprised, were you, with the outcome of the Spain-Netherlands game? I mean, there are a lot of people around the world who thought that it was a shocker.
Hi, yes, definitely. Spain defending champions. Most people think they were one of the best national sides to have ever played the game. And you have the Dutch, who are relatively inexperienced. The Dutch have had a brilliant 2010 World Cup, but 2012 Euro was not so good for them. After which they appointed Louis van Gaal, and that for me has been the difference for this Dutch side. The way they played against Spain, I think I'd give a lot of credit to the manager Louis van Gaal. Of course, you need world-class players, and the Dutch have Robin van Persie and Arjen Robben. But as we've seen, having world-class players isn't enough. England's got Wayne Rooney, Portugal's got Cristiano Ronaldo. But you have to convert that potential into performance, and that is exactly what Robin van Persie and Arjen Robben have done. They stepped up to the occasion and scored 2 goals each, which made the difference for the side. What's commendable to me is that they did that after going a goal down. So that is what made it even more special. And after that, there was just no looking back for the Dutchmen. The through balls, the long balls, the runs made by the forwards, and the finishing, everything was absolutely clinical. And they made Iker Casillas, who's one of the best goalkeepers ever, have one of his worst nights of his life. And I think if Spain really wants to get back from here, they really need to lift themselves up. And if Netherlands continue to play the way they do, then I think they're serious title contenders, and I think most of you will agree as well.
Manan, is that an orange shirt you're wearing or a red one?
Nah, it's red.
Either ways, you obviously like Van Gaal, don't you?
Yes, Man United fan, so definitely Van Gaal.
Oh, well, everybody can't be perfect.
Another one with problems.
Oh. You know what you've done with that, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, bring it on.
All right, bring it on. We're ready. We just went anti-United, didn't we? We're absolutely ready. We have Abhishek Iyer also joining us. Abhishek, you're a well-known football follower, and I'm sure you'll have your own views on this. But what does the World Cup mean to Indians, and how's today's generation, well, the young generation, because we're slightly older. Tell us what the young generation.
Hey! Speak for yourself. Right?
I am speaking for myself. I wasn't talking about you at all. So tell us what, you, your friends, your generation, so to speak, thinks about football in this World Cup in particular.
Thanks, Gaurav. First up, I think the Abhishek you talk about is sitting next to you, not me. He's the well-known football follower, but yes, of course. I think when you look at football in India, there are 2 entities. There's the World Cup and then there's football. There's something about the World Cup that we're really, really passionate about. Even, people who are not from my generation, perhaps a tad older, there's something that they connect with it. You look at Maradona, you look at Pele, you look at Paulo Rossi. We're clearly very, very passionate when it comes to the World Cup and, going guns blazing and supporting Brazil and Argentina, which is great to see because, for a football lover like me, I love it when my grandmom walks in the morning and says, hey, what was the score last night? I think it's fantastic,
Wow.
So I think it's great. It's great to have such a good, relationship with the World Cup in India, and of course, it's something that we all look forward to, and hopefully, we'll be in the World Cup soon.
Which team does your grandmom support?
Well said, man. Well said.
Yeah, well said. Fingers crossed.
Well,
Another generation, yeah.
I want to know from him which team his grandmom supports actually.
Well, she's a very loving grandmother, so whatever I team supports, she supports. So I was trying to, pronounce the Belgian names to her. That didn't really work out. So let's just say Brazil for now.
If she's big-hearted and loving grandmother, then she probably supports England.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
I was in a shop. I was in a shop yesterday buying some nail clippers and getting some tea bags and all that. And this lady was at the counter, and honestly, she was a much older lady, like 65, nearly 70. And she turned around and she went, "It's a really good World Cup, this one so far, isn't it?" I was like, "Oh." She went, yeah, I watch all the games and I saw you this one and this. I'm turning around, I'm having a conversation with a 65, 70-year-old in like a grocery store, and she's going, "Yeah, this game was brilliant," and that is how much this country has been gripped by World Cup fever. And I tell you, the big thing is that football leads. It's cricket. The one-day international yesterday was secondary compared with the World Cup games. And that just shows that football is becoming a much, much bigger game here and becoming very, very popular, particularly with the youngsters.
Like the namesake just said, I just wish we could carry that enthusiasm into our domestic leagues as well. I think that we have made steps to start doing that, but the kind of euphoria that surrounds India during the World Cup is something which is unparalleled. And it's not just based in like Kolkata or Goa. You go anywhere across the country. I just wish we could, drum up that kind of excitement for our local leagues as well. And I think it's starting, but
Hopefully.
yeah, we have a long way to go. But at least I think, like you just said, the country is waking up to football. And I
But
think
the
that's
thing
wonderful.
is, even you've noticed this, and when I travel, I notice this as well. That obviously there's a lot of people who watch league football and club football in India. But when the World Cup comes around, that explodes, doesn't it? I mean, it's almost like 20, 30 times the people are watching the World Cup. It's more inclusive.
It does. Where I come from in Sikkim and Darjeeling area, a month before the World Cup started, the taxis and the trucks, everybody had the team they were supporting. It was in their, in their cars, in their trucks, the flags and all that. And you could see also, just not in cars, but also in their house as well, the kind of team they're supporting. And you could see a lot of different country flags flying in different houses and different cars. So that itself shows the kind of passion, the kind of interest there for the World Cup.
I think the interest, I've done the last 4 or 5 World Cups, and I can remember the viewing figures just for the India region from a long time back, and it was something like 10 million views on the boxes for many years ago. 4 years later, there was 100 million views.
Oh, wow.
And 4 years ago, there was 1 billion views. That just tells you it's gone times 10, times 10, times 10 each year. And that's for all of the games spread across the whole thing. And that just says how passionate, particularly when it's World Cup time, the Indian fans are, and they really do get behind their teams.
That is true. And what we did is we went out on the street and, got these Indian fans. And obviously Abhishek said he's supporting Brazil. Mace, no secret, of course, is supporting England. Baichung played it safe and is supporting 4 teams. Just hedging his bets a little bit.
I think Mace will support England, just not for too long though.
I said it's an exercise in heartbreak. Just always is. He said you've not got any trophies since '66. I said I remember Gary Lineker picking up the Fair Play Award.
So what, he allowed the ball to go through instead of going break?
Exactly what we said. Let's have a look at we went. We're just pulling his leg. We can a little bit. Let's go and have a look at what the Indian fans said about who they are supporting this World Cup. Has it been 1 hour? Is that 1 hour? It's an hour. Yeah.
Which team are we rooting for?
I'm rooting for England. I'm rooting for Germany as they're a powerhouse team and they've been an all-time favorite of mine. Netherlands because of Flying Dutchman.
Brazil because I'd like to see them win it at home.
Italy.
Germany because they're unbeatable.
Definitely be England. Great team, young squad this year. So let's hope that they can actually, go somewhere. They look strong this season. I think they can do well.
I'm supporting the Spanish national team this time.
Spain because they're the defending champions.
I'm gonna go with Germany. I've been supporting them for years now and I really want them to win it this time.
The underdog team would be Belgium. I think they've got some good players. They've got Eden Hazard, who I'm looking forward to see what he does this World Cup. Underdogs in this World Cup, definitely Belgium. Yeah, definitely Belgium.
Belgium? I think it's Uruguay.
I think it's Japan.
Belgium.
Belgium.
I think Belgium.
I'm gonna go with Belgium.
Has to be Belgium.
Because they have a really good squad, but no one's expecting them to do much because they don't have experience. But I'm still gonna go with them. They're the dark horses rather than underdogs, but I'm gonna go with them. Yeah. Robin van Persie.
Toni Kroos.
Fabregas.
The one player that I'm looking out for is Neymar.
Pirlo.
Eden Hazard.
I'm gonna go with Ross Barkley. Looking out for Toni Kroos here. I'll go with Costa. He's got a really good season with Atletico.
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, yeah, but I would also say Eden Hazard.
Yeah, Hazard.
His first World Cup, someone to look out for sure.
One player we're going to miss.
Maybe Ribery.
Yeah, I think Royce more, because Germany really would have played differently with him. I think Royce in the best.
Frank Ribery. Ballack and Oliver Kahn, the 2 players.
Coutinho, I can't believe they didn't take him.
Francesco Totti.
Ibrahimovic.
Beckham because he's Beckham.
I think Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Definitely Zlatan Ibrahimovic. That man has a class about him. The way he scores his goals, the way he celebrates, the aura he gets to the field is another level.
Yeah, sure. Why not? They will.
Not soon,
But
hopefully
in a couple of.
yeah, they're on the right track. Sometime soon, maybe.
Yeah, but like 10-15 years maybe.
Years?
Two World Cups down the line.
Two World Cups down the line, yeah.
Yeah, possibly they might, but it's a long way off for now.
They will definitely make it to the World Cup next in the next 4 years.
Maybe 15 or 20 years down the line, probably with better exposure to our current players and the future players. Maybe.
Only when we host it.
Wow.
Cheeky guy, isn't it?
That hurt.
Cheeky little fellow, ain't
and
you?
now makes laughs.
I think it'll be a generation. I
Yeah.
really do. I think it's the next generation coming through which will be able to do it. But the building blocks have to start now. And
I think a realistic goal. I think you have to be very logical about it. I think a realistic goal is 26, and aim and work towards that. And like you said, put in the blocks right now. He's doing great work.
I think the best
He's
person
doing
to
great
tell
work
us
for it.
realistically, because we can only hope and wish, but realistically tell us what you see on the ground.
Realistically, I don't think you can catch a particular year and say it, but the day you really start focusing on the grassroots level and youth development programs, which I think slowly the federation have just started with some academies, but on the whole, to really make it big and make it very, very serious in the grassroots level, till the time we are not really professional and really focusing on the youth development, then it becomes very, very difficult. But the biggest challenge for us is going to be 2017 when we host that Under-17 World Cup. So for that, I think if we start preparing now and we've got a great team playing on in 2017 and we have a good result, then we can look into next 10 years to say that we can get into it. But if we can't prepare for the Under-17, 2017 from now on and get a good team in the World Cup in 2017, and then we don't have a good result, then it's going to put us quite back again. So I think it's important that we really work seriously towards the youth development program, which at the moment it's happening very, very very slow and not in a really bigger way, which we should have been doing.
Well, our next section is facts and trivia about the World Cup. We've got a few tweets that, we want a few tweets to come in, which is the most interesting piece of trivia for you in this World Cup. And I'll get the gentleman here as well. There was one that I did hear was about Algeria had not scored a goal since 1986.
28 years.
Yes, since 1986. And in fact, if I have it right, if they had gone up till the 56th minute without scoring, they would have broken the record. Was it Bolivia's record? Was it?
Something like that. Yeah. I think that sounds about right.
Yeah. Good thing they got the goal in when they did.
They did. Yeah. Wow.
I actually thought it was their first ever World Cup goal. I don't know if I'm not too sure. Maybe it was after so many years.
I think they got one in a couple in '86. I think they did. Wait, long time back. And of course,
they did. Spain. It was in Spain.
Yeah.
Against Northern Ireland.
Against Northern Ireland.
There you go.
Well done.
Jerry Armstrong. I spoke to Jerry the other day. Yeah.
Good job. Well done. Yeah. See, there's also the vanishing spray that you're seeing for the first time. I don't know about you guys, but I just love it. I love when the referee just comes and says, "All right, guys, enough behind the line."
I just want to know if it works on humans, because I can escape from the house then without the wife knowing. So that'll be quite good then. But no, it makes.
Are you putting it on yourself or on the wife?
On me. I'm gone then. No, but it'll be. I think it's brilliant because the one thing I saw yesterday though was if they do it in a space for too long, you get a little mountain, and then
there
you're
was
not
a
supposed to
dollop
move the ball.
yesterday.
So it should just be a quick spray there, but then the line, I think it makes perfect sense, because if you encroach, it's a yellow card. Everybody knows that that's the rule. How many people have gone and charged down the ball now and encroached? No one. So it's taken out another element of the game, and it's made the game better for it. So you know that the free kick, the players will be 10 yards away. Great rule.
I think that mound that you're talking about, I'm convinced that's what took the shot over. Good.
Possible.
Just
no, but
when
you're playing at that level and you've got technicians like these footballers, every millimeter counts.
Yes.
So I wouldn't be surprised if somebody's going to stand up and complain about it.
Baichung, anything the goal line technology for you or the vanishing spray? What's been the?
I think goal line technology has been for me. I think, and we got to watch it as well, which was great. And otherwise, we've been having this controversy year after year. World Cup after World Cup. It was the famous incident that Frank Lampard goal, I think that was against Germany, which was a very crucial time. That goal gone in 1-1 draw. That didn't happen. So I think it's a great thing that there's a goal line technology now, and within seconds you know that it's goal or not. So that really actually keeps you away from all the controversies which you keep having, World Cup after World Cup.
But there was one controversial moment, wasn't there, where Suarez was the coach of whoever it was. It will come to me in a second. Where the ball hit the post and it registered no goal, then the keeper spilt it, and then it registered goal.
Yeah,
He was
against
going
France.
ballistic down there, saying
Benzema,
yeah, against
So
France.
it went an own goal to the goalkeeper. It wasn't, wasn't Karim's goal.
So that, I think, I mean,
I think he just called it too early. I think they just didn't wait because the ball was.
It's all technical. It's all done by computer. So you don't even need to push a button. The ball is registered. It's got chips in. The sensors on the lines. The sensors in the goals. So as soon as it hits a post, it goes no goal.
No goal.
Yeah.
So why not just
I think it was,
that one off?
Yeah, it did confuse a bit. But if you really look into it, the ball hit the post, so it's a no goal.
Yeah.
But when it came and hit the goalkeeper and went in, then it became a goal.
Absolutely.
So that did confuse a bit of people watching the match as well in the stadium as well.
Well, as we told you,
Indians are used to it though. Goal line thing, we're like, Hawkeye, no, come on, wake up.
Yeah, but that's what you do. Somebody else made the decision.
But I think
not on me.
It also takes away best part of after the match discussion where you say, no, that was goal, no, that wasn't goal. The best part about football is, people having their own view and expressing it.
Yeah.
So this goal line technology is one thing that will at least keep that out. I think which is for our fans, people who watch the game. I think for them, I think goal line technology is something which you should not have it.
It's horrible.
Then it's always, you always get to fight and discuss and you have debates and you go on talking about that for months and years, So
you can't call the other guy a
66.
cheater.
66. We still talk right now 66 finals. So, that's because there was no goal line technology then.
Yeah,
that's why we get to talk till today,
It's brilliant. You're going to love it. There's such a thing as too much technology, perhaps. Well, trust me, none of the players are thinking that about goal line. But right now, it's more about the fans, isn't it? Well, it was supposed to be a 90-minute game, and we were supposed to have a half-time break, but stoppage time has sort of gone on.
Fergie time.
Yeah.
You've got to stand there like that now.
Come on now. Well, they're telling me now that I have to do this because we've got Azim Banatwala now, who's got his own really refreshing take. He's a fantastic young comedian. He's also one that clings on to football, and so we've got him now on Castrol Activ, cling on to football. Azim Banatwala giving his beautiful take on the beautiful game.
All right. Hi guys, how you guys doing? It's fantastic to be here. Lovely to be here. It's great to be a part of the World Cup. The World Cup itself has been fantastic. Lots of energy, lots of enthusiasm. Even the opening ceremony was fantastic. All the singing, lights, dancing, really good fun. Although as Indians, we were a bit confused by the opening ceremony because usually when we see 500 or more people dancing, we're usually expecting to see a few Ganpati statues somewhere in the mix. Didn't happen, but it's okay. It's fine because Indians, we're not the most well-informed football fans in the world, but don't worry, we're going to get it right this time. This year, personally, I am supporting England, Brazil, and Manchester United. We're going to do this. But it's great. We're not the most well-informed football fans, although this isn't really our fault because we're a cricket-crazy nation, right? India isn't really on the map when it comes to football. We are ranked, I was looked at the FIFA rankings the other week. India is ranked 145th in the world. And I saw that statistic and I was shocked because I had no idea there are 145 countries in the world. But I was looking at all the countries ahead of us, all these African countries, countries with limited means, limited resources, and they were all doing better than us. And I was like, why are we not doing well enough? So I started researching this and I looked at the Indian football team. And when you take a close look at the Indian football team, you will realize that the large compartment of the team is from the northeast of the country, from Bengal and from Goa. So essentially, the Indian football team is a fine assortment of the shortest, the most cowardly, and the laziest people in the country. Food for thought, right? I mean, if we really need a demographic of people in this football team, it should be Punjabis, man. It would be fantastic. The energy that they have. You let a referee try to send a Punjabi off. He'll just look at the referee, "Kai ka red card, bhai? Mere paas green card hai. Canada mein rehta hu. Tu kya red card dega? Sale, that would be awesome, right?" But Indians, we love our football. We also love our cricket. We have T20, of course. But the key difference between T20 and the World Cup, lots of differences, because in T20, it's an Indian phenomenon. The World Cup is global. In T20, you have cheerleaders. In the World Cup, you have wags. In T20, you have Navjot Sidhu. In the World Cup, you have... Okay, I don't think there is anything in the World Cup that can match that level of energy. But it's really interesting that we have a lot of cool things. The key difference is that in T20, as opposed to the World Cup, you already know what's going to happen in the match before. It's very interesting. I've realized that T20 it's less of sport more than entertainment, because we have it's like WWE really with less fit athletes. That's really what it is. In fact, if the most fitting comparison would be to the TV show Whose Line Is It Anyway, because in both cases everything's made up and the points don't matter. But Indians, we love our football, right? We love our football. We play football religiously every single day on our PlayStations, because that's the only place we can. Like, we love playing FIFA. I think we have the fittest thumbs in the world. And I think all Indians learn about football through FIFA video games, right? In fact, we are so tuned to FIFA and football being related that every time we start a football discussion, we start by saying EA Sports. It's in the game. And you can't blame us for not playing football, because there's no space in the country to play football, right? Listen, I've grown up in Bombay playing football on the beach. You try playing football on Juhu Beach. Seriously, you will run past your defender, run past the last man, cut inside, only the keeper to beat. And then you realize that people have randomly started playing cricket in your penalty area, and there's 8 more people to dribble past now. I mean, even Cristiano Ronaldo would look at that situation and go, bro, this is too difficult. I am going home. This is over. But you know what? It's great to see so many Indians part of the World Cup, so many Indians shouting and cheering, supporting their teams. Because it's a pleasant change, because usually when Indians are shouting and screaming in support of different teams, we have a term for that. It's called the parliament. Anyway, that's all from me, guys. Back to you.
That was fantastic.
He was brilliant.
Good stuff. The Banat. Good stuff by him. All right. The men to watch out for in this World Cup. We know that there's a lot of you who've been sending in your tweets about who you think are the men to watch out for, who are your favorite players. Gentlemen, I'll just let you go. I'll let you go, but we'll throw some things in. For Germany, you have Klose, of course, who is 1 goal away from Ronaldo's record. He's on 14. Ronaldo, 15, yeah. Not Cristiano. Not Cristiano.
The real one.
You got to tell. Yeah, you got to tell the younger people out there. No.
Yeah, simmer down, darling. Simmer down.
Calm down a little bit. He's got 15 goals, of course, and holds the all-time record. But we didn't see him come out against Portugal. That just sort of describes Germany's philosophy, doesn't it?
He'll be a bit part player. I mean, you know, particularly when Muller's scored a hat-trick in the opening game. I mean, he's going to just come on, and if he gets the opportunity and the chance to score, I don't think it'll happen for him. I really don't, because his game time will be limited, because the games get tougher as the tournament goes on. And he's not really a second option, is he? He doesn't do anything different. He hasn't got the pace anymore. He's got the experience, but it's not like he's a big man that you can hit or a target man. So for me, I'd be amazed if he does. But I mean, a fantastic player over the generation that he's played for the national team, but unfortunately, maybe just a little bit too far away to get that record.
Okay, the ones who wanted to jump up earlier, now you can, because now we are talking about Cristiano Ronaldo.
Who?
Cristiano Ronaldo. You want to leave, don't you? From the studio. You're going to be people waiting for you outside.
What's he done? What's he done in this World Cup? I'll start the ball rolling.
Yeah,
right.
Excellent.
What has he done
in this
World Cup?
No, I think it's
nothing.
But it's only one game.
Just one match.
I mean, he kept his hair in place for the whole thing.
I think it's a bit harsh to say in one match. But again, you know, they had a man sent off when they were 2-goal down. So it's a bit difficult. And also, if you see Cristiano Ronaldo, he's just coming back from an injury. And even Champions League final as well, I didn't see him in his best form. So he wasn't anywhere there apart from
He's coming off an injury.
Yeah, apart from scoring that free kick, I didn't really see Cristiano Ronaldo at his peak, even in Champions League. So I think it's quite difficult for him as well at the moment. And
I think his greatest service so far is he stopped Pepe from eating people. You know?
Stop. No, down,
boy.
Down, boy.
Kneel.
And you've got a partner like Nani who's supposed to be, you know, combining well with him, which has not been able to.
Okay, here's the thing. You guys say you're criticizing him after one game, and maybe that's not fair. You bring that up.
Criticizing
no, I'm saying you. That's the
time.
My point is that Messi gets it all the time. Messi,
give him time. So what does
nobody
Messi,
gives him any quarter.
So what does Messi do? He runs around 5 players and sticks it in the back of the net and scores a goal. So hold on, that's an impact player for me.
I got to say this. I got to, you know, bring it on, but. That was going out. It wasn't even. The people said, "Oh, the great man is back. He scored after so many." I mean, the ball was going out. He hit a defender, deflected off, and went into goal. So you know, I think Messi is brilliant, but I think they're a bit too kind to him, a bit too harsh on Ronaldo. I think
they're pretty harsh on Messi as well.
No, not as much as Ronaldo. And at the end of the day, this is a team sport. You know, I mean, look at the Argentinian team and look at the Portuguese team. I mean. you need some sort of support staff. In Real, he's got a brilliant team around him as well, and Cristiano does galvanize the team. I think he's just a brilliant figure, immense talent, same as Messi. But I do feel that Messi has a greater supporting cast in this World Cup than Ronaldo.
That's a lot of the top players are actually like that. They're better playing for their club team than they are the national team because there are better players at the club team.
Yeah.
There's only one player ever in the history of the World Cup finals that has won the World Cup single-handedly, and there's no pun intended there.
Single-handed?
no, I'm being serious.
Here's the Englishman speaking.
It was the second.
But I agree with you. I agree with you.
He didn't have a support cast.
I agree with you.
He didn't.
He did not. He single-handedly won that World Cup.
Pele, Garincha, you mentioned all the names, Albertina, all these players that played had a support cast. Messi's got a support cast. So will he ever be the best player that the world has ever seen? No, in my personal opinion. Cristiano Ronaldo, if he wants to be the best player that anybody has ever seen,
he's got to play out of his skin.
And he'll have to win it himself because he doesn't have a support cast. That's the thing with Portugal.
But also, I think we should give credit to Cristiano for bringing Portugal to the World Cup as well, single-handedly against Sweden. Scored that hat-trick.
So where's that form in the World Cup? This is what I know, the injuries and all that.
But it is just the start. I think, like I said, I think this is the rude awakening that they needed, that we talked about earlier, and I think they will wake up. I mean, there is talent in that team, but yeah, he's going to have to carry the entire team and wake them up and really get some goals in there.
I've got a rapid-fire question for all three of you. I feel that the world is divided into two halves, the Messi half and the Ronaldo half. Which side are you?
For me, to pick one, I've been asked so many times this question, but it's very difficult to pick one. It all depends on the teammates they're playing with.
Come on. They're both great players, obviously, right? It's just, I guess, whose style you like more. That just says more about you as a person.
If you're looking at style and all that, I would go for Messi.
Messi? Messi?
Last year Ronaldo, the year before Messi, the year before Messi. They're the World Player of the Year, so I think that gives you an indication. I personally prefer Ronaldo purely and simply because he has a bigger work ethic, where he will chase back and the ability that he has. Messi, he's just brilliant in his own right, though, because you just say to him, go and stand, just do what you want. Give him the ball, just do what you want. And I've not seen talent like that for a long, long time. He has that natural ability, whereas Ronaldo, the reason that I totally respect him as a person, as a player, is because he has to work at that to be the player he is. Messi just wakes up in the morning and that's how he is. He has it naturally, and that is the frustrating thing.
Not bad, I'd like to wake up like that and be
I completely agree with you. Messi is just God-given talent, and he's one of the greatest that ever was or will be. But having said that, I think his true test was last season, where it kind of started, the chinks in the armor started showing. You have to understand, when he plays, in his domestic league, he's playing with an unbelievable team. I mean, I just heard today somewhere that Javi's gone to Qatar now next season, and the Barcelona team is being disbanded slowly, and this entire team that was just built around this one brilliant player, which was Messi, is not going to be as strong as it was before. They don't have Pep anymore. I think that you're going to start seeing he's going to have to really start proving himself now, which is what I think now the playing field is even with Cristiano Ronaldo. Was like Paul, like you were saying, I think Cristiano really has to work for it. Messi is just brilliant, but I think his true test is going to be next season.
Okay, well, we want your tweets in as well. I really believe you're either sort of Messi fans or Ronaldo fans. We'll do a little fan poll. Who do you like more? We're not saying who's a better footballer. They're both great footballers. Who do you like to watch more? Because I'm sure there's one that you like to watch more than the other. Which one's that for you? Messi?
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo? For you, it's Ronaldo. For me, it's Messi. Messi? And for you, you're like Peter Crouch. He also changes his every year.
I'm going with Ronaldo purely and simply for the fact that he has to work at his game. And I'm not like him. He had a God-given talent. He had the ability to be able to play and do what he did. I was one of those, as you can see now, after I finished, I had to work damn hard. I had to work day in, day out. So I respect the fact that he has to work at his game to be the best in the world.
All right, guys, if you now want to hear Paul, I think you should put your helmets on. We're going to do that as well, because I'm going to say two words and then we're going to duck for cover. Paul, Wayne Rooney.
Okay. Next question. Next player.
No comments. No comments at all.
I mean, I think there's a lot of rumblings going on today, again in the press, where Rooney's now blanked all the press because he doesn't like what they're saying about him. At the end of the day, he's a big enough man to be able. He's had a lot more stick to be able to say, "Shut up." leave it, just get on with it. He's there to play football. What, just because he's staying behind and doing extra training, he feels he needs it. Roy Hodgson had a quiet word with him at training the other day. I was listening to reports back in the UK, and they were having a little chat, and Wayne Rooney wants to work at his game. It's another player where it doesn't come natural. But is he world class? He's probably, if you were to say there was one player in England over the past sort of 6-7 years that would you put in that bracket, you would say Rooney, because he can create something out of nothing. Yeah. But now we're having an emergence of young talents, but Wayne Rooney needs to step up his game in this World Cup, in my opinion.
Also, he started playing on the left in the first game against Italy, and he was, I mean, Roy Hodgson also moved him in after.
He'll be central. 100% tomorrow he'll play him central, because they've already had that discussion, and I think
he's lost that ability, you know. I think in his earlier years, he was pliable. You could put him anywhere and he'd play. I think now, as age, and with the kind of flanks that England has right now, the kind of speed, I think Rooney down the centres, he's one of the few unstoppable players.
But Bhaichung, does that happen as you go along in your career? Obviously, when you're younger, you're a little more flexible with your position, but as you sort of grow more experienced, there is a position you like and you just want to play that.
Absolutely, yes. Even for me as well, when I was aging out, I wanted to play as a stopper, and which I did play in the defense. Which I want to be the goalkeeper. I did play for my club, United Sikkim, in the I-League as a defender, you know, stopper. So there are positions you want to have. You know, you're not as acrobatic, as fit as what you are, you know, in 20s and then towards 30s. But speaking of Rooney, I think why I really rate him high and why I really like Rooney is because of his work. He's a completely team man. That's the biggest asset of Wayne Rooney, you know. So he's going to work, he's going to tackle, he's going to do everything for the team, and he's not that player who wants to score goals. He's there to defend as well, and you know, get those assists as well behind him. Which for me is a great player.
There's one thing that he does which is brilliant, and if it's not going very well and the team is playing badly and it's not happening, he runs around like a madman and smashes somebody. And what it does is it gives everybody else a boost and a lift. If I'm standing there as a defender and I see him chasing there, and then he goes and puts a challenge in and turns around, as soon as he turns around, you know what you're getting. It does, it inspires, it lifts you, it lifts. Look what he's doing, hey, we better step our game up here, and everybody then rises. So that's what Wayne Rooney has. He has the ability to be able to do that to players in and around him as well. A good leader.
Yeah, well, so there's a lot of players. I mean, you can keep talking about players here. I mean, Pirlo in Italy the other day was just a magician, wasn't he? I mean, just a quick word on him before we go to our fan poll.
Yeah, I think Pirlo was main player against England, but I don't see him if he has to really keep playing all 90 minutes throughout the tournament.
That's hard for him, isn't it?
I think it's going to be difficult because he's the kind of player who likes to fall back, gets the ball from the defense, make those passes, make those runs. So for me, I think, you know, if they go on till the finals, I feel that he might struggle a bit.
Okay, well, we've got a fan poll now. Of course, this is a hangout session for all you fans. This is Castrol Activ Cling On to Football, and we've got a lot of there's young guns, there's youth, there's experience that you're seeing in this World Cup. So we want you to tell us, what would you pick? Would you go for more youth or would you go for more experience? And you can tweet to us. It's the hashtag is Cling On to Football. So yeah, we're looking at some young stars as well. We've spoken about some of the experienced ones. The young ones, there's one that's obviously we'll talk about Hazard in just a second. But I want to talk about a few of them. So why don't you guys just collect your thoughts, and why don't you guys have a quick look at this? The young stars to watch out for in World Cup 2014. Okay, we've got our fans on the Hangout ready to talk to us. Who do we have first? And who do we have? Kunal Rathi and Chaitanya. Is that correct? Kunal, is that you? It's Ashwin, sorry. It's Ashwin. Ashwin, tell us, youth or experience, which one would you go for?
I would go for a mix of both, if you ask me. I think to rely on any one would be not such a wise idea. But if you look at the England team, although they haven't played really well for the first game, they have.
Whoa, hang on 1 second.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Macefield.
I like to say it's the best played in 6 years.
I know I lost, but that's the best guy in the world. Come on, man.
So Since '66, yeah.
Carry on now, please.
Yeah, no, but I just think that a combination of both would work because obviously you need young feet. At the same time, you need the experienced ones guiding them, telling them what to do, telling them where to up their game, where they need to do better in order to perform on the whole as a team, rather than just play in some aspects.
Okay, Ashwin, thanks so much for that. Who's the next person we have? Abhishek, we have your namesake back again. Abhishek? Yes, my friend, go ahead. Just be careful what you say about England though, huh?
No, so I'll disagree with what Ashwin said because I think it's very subjective, Gaurav, and Mr. Macefield will agree when I say that experience hasn't really worked out for a team like England. So it's fantastic to see them go with youth in this World Cup. I mean, I'm not a big England fan. I find them absolutely boring. I think they play rubbish football. But but wait. But that game against Italy was fantastic. It was refreshing to see Raheem Sterling just, that complete counter pace that he played with. It was great. But having said that, I think when you look at Italy, you look at the influence that Andre Pirlo had on that team. So it's subjective. It kind of depends on what kind of a team, what kind of a formation, what your playing style is. But I think this football and the way the sport is kind of evolving, I think youth is the thing to look out for more than experience.
Abhishek, you're a man after my own heart because that was actually spot on. It's actually spot on what you said there because you do need that blend, and it's nice to see that there is the likes of a Steven Gerrard in there. That little bit of experience, you've got one or two others that are exactly the same as well. But the youth, giving the kids the opportunity to go and play, it's absolutely critical because England are 10 years behind Germany. We're 20 years behind Spain. We're 30 years behind Brazil. So we've got to start somewhere from an English point of view. Giving the kids the opportunity now with the splattering of experience is what Hodgson needs to do. And well done, you got it spot on.
Yes, Stevie G is good at picking himself up, isn't he? Considering the amount of time he spends on the deck, yeah?
Stop it already. Stop it already.
You two starting again, are you? You need to calm down.
Let's go now quickly to Jay, who's the next person.
I would agree with Abhishek here. With reference to comparison, we obviously need a blend of both. And following the Premier League so closely, I do have a soft corner for England. Although looking at the young players that Hodgson has gotten, Sterling and Sturridge up front, Sterling was so influential with Liverpool's title chase. Rodgers had faith in him. In the second half, he played really amazing. So Hodgson was absolutely right. England do miss Theo Walcott for the counter attack, but I guess Sterling had a very good game against Italy. And he's going to be quite influential if England want to progress in the next round because he has a blistering pace, and his partnership with Sturridge from the Liverpool side can obviously be a good help for England if they want to progress. So I obviously would go again, giving another example of youth. If you look at Belgium, they're a young squad, but they've got amazing talent. So I think giving youth a chance is obviously the way to go. So I would go with youth.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jay. Good points he makes there.
Guys have been very good. They're pretty spot on.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we have experts. These aren't fans. These are experts. Are you sure we're not paying them anything? Give us a bill later, maybe, for the expert analysis. But yes, interestingly, the game that I'd like to watch now is Uruguay, with Herrera saying that Suarez is completely fit. Seeing him playing against Sturridge, Sterling and Gerrard. That's going to be interesting.
It will be, but I think England are becoming so one-centric, as it were, where they're just concentrating and focus on one player. Italy, we stop Pirlo, we'll win. Uruguay, we stop Suarez, we'll win. There's 10 other players on the park.
Yeah.
So they need to get out of that mindset straight away. But having all that Liverpool connection on the field of play, don't forget you Johnson as well, a fullback. There's another one just
Henderson.
to throw in. Henderson as well. He's playing. I mean, the reason is that Liverpool are playing with good English young players. They're playing well. They finished the season relatively well, apart from the last couple of games. So they're in form. They're buoyed, and that's where I've got respect for Hodgson in the fact that he's picking players that are in form. He's not just picking reputations, and that's a key, and that's the most important thing. But coming up against Suarez, who knows what could happen? He's the only one that could really damage and hurt England after watching Uruguay's first
You're kind of
game.
overlooking Cavani as well.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Cavani. I think he's a force to reckon with, and I think he's not got into a step yet, but I think, Suarez still coming off an injury. I think Cavani is going to be the danger man for them.
I think Cavani needs a bit more of a support cast as well. He gets it when he's at PSG, and that's why he's banging the goals in the front. With Uruguay, I mean, they've already had a red card, so there's a suspension. Is it Pereira who's out suspended? So they're down a player already, out of the squad. They just need one or two more players to step up to their mark as well, because the two centre-halves for Uruguay, they were woeful in that opening game, weren't they? Lugano and the other lad. Yeah, it'll come to me in a second, but they were terrible. So, no, it'll be interesting to see if we've got the pace of England going at that slow, sloppy defence.
I said it because it was the Liverpool code that I was talking about.
Yeah, I got that. I don't think
it
was so soon. I think England's biggest problem is to be a cohesive unit. In the previous World Cup, the biggest problem is how do you play Lambs and Gerrard together.
Actually now they both have. It's almost as they've gone in their career. They've got the same tendency. First, they just like to both go forward, and now both of them almost want to play holding, don't they?
I think, for me, I think rather than England focusing on what Uruguay is going to do, I think if they can focus on their own team,
on what they have to do,
actually see Gerrard and Lampard playing together, because Gerrard now with Liverpool is so used to playing in a defensive position.
And same with Lampard,
defend and just give Lampard to play more free role, kind of go into the box, which Lampard is really good at, running from behind, getting into the box. When the crosses are there is Lampard to push the ball in. So I think it's not a bad idea, or I might not be surprised if Roy Hodgson has actually played Gerrard and Lampard together in the next match.
I think that's a great point. I was going to say exactly that. I think instead of being concerned with anybody else, the minute they start concentrating on what their strengths are, I think they're going to be a fantastic team to watch. There's a lot of talent out there.
Okay,
Godin. Yeah. Lugano and Godin.
We have. Oh, okay.
Atletico Madrid.
He was going tick, tick, tick. Well, we have a lot of football fans who are now actually football experts, haven't they, joining us on the Hangout? We've got two more football experts. They're freestylers. They're brilliant with the ball. Have a look at this.
Final smash.
And now what we were talking, that was brilliant, by the way. Fantastic
Yes,
job.
well done.
Good job,
Well
guys.
done, lads.
Excellent. Good job, Kunal and Chaitanya. And now we're going to talk about some other young talent. These are the young stars to watch out for in World Cup 2014. No, you heard me correct. You saw the correct video. Those are young players, and this is 1998. Guys, you're real quick. Let's talk about our young players anyway. Your favorites, your picks, personally for me, has been Pogba at France. Yours?
I like him. I've seen him all season long. I've covered a lot of the Italian Serie A, and he's been absolutely immense.
Brilliant.
He became another guy, didn't he, after United, starting out from the bench every game, unhappy, goes to Juventus, and then just
flourish.
Honestly, what Fergie was thinking of letting him go, I mean, I know what it was. It was harsh negotiations and contract. That's all it was. Ferguson wasn't prepared to offer a little bit more, and Pogba wanted first team football. Ferguson wouldn't guarantee him. I think that's one of Ferguson's biggest mistakes ever, was to let him go on a free transfer.
Yeah.
I mean, that is huge, because this guy's now, there's talk around Europe that he's going to go to Real Madrid for sort of 50 million, 60 million dollars,
Yeah.
which is huge. I mean, that's huge. And it was a free transfer 12 months ago, 2 years ago.
Wow.
He's definitely one to watch, along with a couple of English players, but I won't go on about that.
Yeah, go on. We'll let you name them, if you want to.
I'll let everybody else name them. I've spoken enough about England today.
Vaichin, yours? Young player to watch?
I think I would go for Eden Hazard, because I'm not sure if he's going to score few goals in this World Cup, but he's going to be a player who's going to really be very, very effective, who's going to have, I think, few assists in this tournament. And for tight matches where the matches are going very, very difficult, or it's a goalless or a goal down, and he's a kind of player who's going to turn around for Belgium. So I think for me, Eden Hazard is going to be the young player.
Well, being a Chelsea man, I'd have to agree with him, but I think,
yes,
I
thought
think
you would.
Hazard's going to have a much tougher World Cup than we all think. I think they all know he's the danger man. They're going to be shutting him down. I think Algeria did a great job of really shutting him out of the game. There were 1 or 2 times when his brilliance just took over, but I think he's going to have a lot tougher. I think there are 5 or 6 good young players that everybody's already highlighted. I think it's the ones that we haven't really discussed that are going to have a good thing. I think Barkley is just an unbelievable talent. I think if he gets the time on the pitch, he's really going to shine. I think Oscar is going to have a great World Cup. His first match, he was brilliant. I think for me, he was the man of the match. They gave it to Neymar. Yes, yesterday he was kind of nullified, but I think he's going to have a great World Cup. I think Barkley will have a great World Cup. Luke Shaw, great prospect, has the opportunity. Like I said, England, the minute they start playing their young talent and giving them the opportunity, Raheem Sterling's going to have a great World Cup, I feel. So I think Pogba is great, but I think it's the ones that are not really being given the headlines that are going to do very, very well.
Under the radar, you're right, because what happens is the big teams don't go and watch them. I mean, Sterling's only broke into the side lately. Origi from Belgium, he's not been playing that much, so people will not be aware of what this is. You throw them into a game, and all of a sudden, the opposing coach is turning around to his bench
what's going on?
Who's that?
Yeah.
Where's he from? What does he play?
Right.
I've not seen him play.
Absolutely.
Give me the report on him. We don't know. We haven't scouted that player as much as a Hazard, as a Barkley, where they know bits and bobs about. But giving these kids the opportunity at short notice to go on there and do something, you will see one or two major
Even some of the
stars
African
arise.
boys are brilliant. You take somebody like, say, Christian Atsu or someone, you know, very below the radar, but have great prospects. And I think they're the ones who are really going to shock us.
And it's brilliant because the World Cup's a great stage, and you almost wait for that every edition, right? You wait for these young players and these so-called, you know, unknown teams to just come and just grab your fancy, a bit like Cameroon back in the day in '90, isn't it?
You know, the biggest example is Muller from Germany. Last World Cup, nobody gave him so much. You know, he was not in the news, and suddenly he comes from nowhere and gets that golden boot. So this World Cup, obviously they know him and all that, but last World Cup it was this young player from Germany who grabbed the headlines all across the world.
And not a bad start to keep that golden boot again.
Not at all. But I also feel, Gaurav, what a lot of coaches will also be doing is the managers are going to hold these cards very close to their chest as well. I think a prime example of what Paul was just saying is that, you know, the coach is going to be, who's this guy? I don't think Croatia had any plan laid out for Oscar in the first match. Everything was centered around, you know, Neymar, and suddenly Oscar had a blinder of a game. And suddenly, so Mexico waits and says, okay, you know, this guy is going to play an integral part in the game, shut him down. So I think there are also going to be certain managers who are going to play their cards very close to their chest. I think Origi was a brilliant substitution, he changed the game around. I think these cards are going to be opened up slowly and slowly as the tournament goes on.
You've made a really good point there, because players emerge in different games.
Yep.
So where is it? It's let's watch Neymar.
Yep.
Now Oscar's started. So we've got to watch Neymar and Oscar. So let's just say Ramirez. Let's just say Ramirez. So we've got to watch Oscar, Neymar, and Ramirez. And all the time you're adding to that, which is why the World Cup's like that. It's always going about being at the pinnacle, watching and performing at that next level in that next round of fixtures.
We're back from '98 to 2014. I've got the right one now. These are the young players we were talking about, but just to prove that we have something to show you, have a look at this. And you thought we didn't have it. Of course we have it. Okay, we also have our fans joining us on our Google Hangout. We were, of course, taking that fan poll, the youth versus experience. We've got Manan with us against Manan Demand. Manan, tell us what you think about this whole youth versus experience debate in your lovely red shirt there.
Well, I will have to agree with the others there and say that a balance is needed. You have to have a blend of youth and experience. I'd like to emphasize by saying that when it comes to defenders, you want your defenders to be in your late 20s or your early 30s, because defense is a position where you do need experience. And when it comes to attack, where attackers in their 30s or going towards mid-30s, they lose pace. So I'd like to emphasize by saying that if I was picking a team, I'd prefer experienced defenders in their late 20s or early 30s, whereas I'd pick a younger attack in their mid-20s. That is where I feel Brazil has got their selection absolutely right. They've got Thiago Silva and they've got the perfect fullbacks in Marcelo and Dani Alves, and they've got Oscar and Neymar in the attack. So I guess Brazil's gone absolutely perfect with their selection, and that is why I think they're going to do really well in this tournament.
Do you agree?
They've been sensible so far, haven't they?
Yeah.
So I think it's a very
really
fair
disagree.
Point. Yeah, he's right.
I mean, obviously, you also need the speed sometimes, because if you have 20-year-old strikers everywhere, you need to still, along with the experience, have a bit of speed as well. You don't want to be 2 steps behind that guy then.
Yeah, it's a mixture. It is a mixture. I think that's what we've come up with as a consensus. You need balance for the experience. Someone with an older head who can put their foot on the ball and slow it down if it's needed. Then you need that youth with the injection of pace to be able to go at people. So yeah, it's a fine balance.
Yeah, you need older players to calm the younger players down, like people like Pepe for Portugal, just to calm.
Put a muzzle on him.
Don't let him run around too much. Abhishek, we have another Abhishek on the show. He's joining us on the Hangout. Abhishek, give us your point of view, buddy, will you?
On the same thing, youth and experience?
Yep.
Well, yeah, so I think what Manan said was fantastic. When you look at defense, you need discipline. When you look at attack, you need creativity. That's when, you bring in the age factor. So when you look at discipline, you need the slightly older lot. When you look at creativity, it's great to have the younger lot. Like I said earlier, I mean, I'm all for youth. I'm all for exciting, attacking football than tactical, boring football. So, yeah, I think it's fantastic to see so many young players going into this World Cup.
Excellent. Well, listen,
they should be interviewing us. In fact, they're really good, huh? They should be interviewing us. Come on now, guys.
We're just having a chat, all of us. Yes, wow. And while we've been chatting, Azim Banatwala, who came on the show a little earlier, Azim actually was also told us that you're an Indian football fan when, and he made a few points after that. We were pretty much cracking up. So why don't we show that to you, Azim? Over to you, buddy.
Alright, thanks guys. So, now the thing about Indian football fans is that Indian football fans are everywhere. And the reason for that is that Indians in general are everywhere. There's no two ways about that. But the thing is, every Indian fan has something very stereotypical or has something stereotypical that he says or does. And I'm going to list a few of those things. Number one, very annoying thing. This is really one of my pet peeves when it comes to Indian football fans. Indian football fans will come up and say, bro, that was a self-goal. And I'm like, no, it was not a self-goal. That is terrible grammar. What is this? It is an own goal. Own goal, because he put the ball into his own goal. Very simple. It's not a self-goal. Self-goal just sounds stupid. It sounds like the defender put the ball into the net, then took a selfie. It's like, hey guys, self-goal, what's up? It's so stupid. Other thing that annoys me about being a football fan in India, funnily enough, is cricket. And you're an Indian football fan when you start irrationally hating cricket for no reason. Because it always happens that you make a plan to watch a big game, get 20 friends together, put on your jerseys, paint your faces, and you walk into a sports bar thinking that this is going to be the night, but no! The match is not being shown because Indians are playing a cricket match against Bangladesh, a test match no less. Nothing could be more boring. Even the guys who are playing the match are like, bro, we do not want to be playing this match. We want to be watching the football ourselves. They're streaming the match like on their phones, like bro, goal, hey, catch aa gaya, let's go, that's very coincidental. That's how catches happen in cricket matches. But the final thing, my pet peeve, one of my pet peeves, of course, is goal line technology. I actually love goal line technology, and I think that you're an Indian football fan when you love goal line technology, because we all wish we had goal line technology when we were playing, right? When we were playing as kids, because every single time we would spend more time fighting about whether it was a goal than actually playing the sport. And forget goal line technology, the only resort that we had was emotional blackmail, wherein the owner of the ball would say, you give me the goal or I'm going. It's my ball, I'm going home. I'm going, Gaurav, I'm telling you, I'm going. Chal, bye.
Excellent, good stuff, Azim. Come back, don't go. Come back. Well, we're about to go as well, real quick, but before we go, a few things we want to discuss on Castrol Activ, cling on to football, with Baichung especially, which we touched upon the future of Indian football before, and you did mention that it's the grassroots that you need to work on. So if you just want to elaborate a little bit on that and say what the path forward should be.
I think definitely we need to really focus on the grassroots and the youth development. But here in India, still we don't have that concept with the clubs working really strongly towards the grassroots development. We've got academies now set that is set by federation, which in anywhere in the world, the federations don't set up academies. It should be the clubs that should be setting up. And also we need to get into a system where, the clubs are more professional, work on the grassroots. Also with the federation, what they can do is make a stronger contract, make sure that, clubs are spending and also focusing on the youth development, and make sure that the players who they have in the grassroots level, or the young players, are allowed to be kept, and then later on, like a European structure, make them, get them to sell and all that stuff. So I think with the contract system as well, where you can sign 15, 16-year-old and also 18, 19-year-old for a longer period, so that it becomes a business. At the moment, I think a lot of the academies, we've got Tata Football Academy and Sports Authority of India doing the biggest grassroots level there in India. And it's not into a business kind of thing. And also clubs don't like to spend onto the grassroots, because when these guys become 18 and they become good players, any club can just take them away. So I think that structure and system has to be in place. And at the same time, I think all the clubs that are playing in I-League and also Division 2 need to have a strong grassroots and a dedicated youth development system, which at the moment I don't see it happening.
What we'd like to say to the fans as well, it's great. I mean, you're on social media, you're watching the World Cup on television, but even Indian football needs your support. So then, when the local leagues happen, when local clubs play, go on and see them. Yeah,
absolutely. I'd just like to add to what Bhaijun said. See, he runs a club, he's been a player, so he knows. I mean, he's spoken on the technical side. Mine is more on the cultural side. I think India still has the stigma that sports is not a career option. And I think that's a mindset we need to change. Till date, I still feel the majority of households feel that be a doctor, be an engineer, join the administrative service or something.
Yeah, because we don't have enough of those.
Yeah, so I really think that we need to change the mindset that I do believe that sports can be a very viable career option. Yeah. And I think with the things like the I-League. Now the ISL is coming in. The
Kabaddi League.
The Kabaddi League, which I've invested in. You have the IPL. I think we're starting to prove that sports can be a career, and a very lucrative career. Yeah. I think that's a mindset we need to work on as well, simultaneously with getting grassroots level academies.
And that's going to happen. More kids are going to want to become professional sportsmen, and we support them as spectators. You go in, you fill a stadium, and a kid is going to go there and say, well, if the stadium can come out to watch people, I want to grow up and be a player, and I want to go out there and show these people what I can do. They can't do that in front of empty stadiums. So show your support, show your love, get the bums on seats. That's what we need to do. Well, right now it's time for us to take our bums off seats, but before we go, we thought, we've been having some fun, but we're going to have some more fun.
Yeah, I just felt, look.
You're a chip of the old block, you're a quizmaster.
Yeah, I'm going to be a quizmaster, because I just felt, look, we're here, we're going to be a football match, although we've gone way over time, but there has to be a winner. Yeah. And since we have these two great pundits sitting in front of us, I thought we put them in the spotlight for a second.
Should we make them do a Honduras?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So we're going to make like a mud pit here, and off you two go and
oil up.
I'm going to ask you a few questions related to football, please.
Can I be the referee? I'll be the referee.
Yeah.
I'll decide who answers first.
All right. So the way we'll do it is I'll ask the question. You have to put your hand up. Whoever's hand goes up first gets to answer. He's going to determine who gets to answer the question.
In fact, if I could tweak the rule, let me just shout the answer out.
Yes.
Up to you.
Come on.
Ready?
Yes.
₹1,000 के लिए पहला सवाल. Sorry.
France.
I know. Wrong button. How do you know the question? Who knows? I'm kidding. When was the last time any host nation won the World Cup?
Host nation.
When was the last time any host nation won the World Cup?
82.
90. No, France. 99.
You did answer it correct even before. That was brilliant.
Well done. 1-0.
Well, this is Germany.
Paul just randomly said France, just randomly, and it turned out to be the answer to the first question.
Very good job. Question number 2. No lifelines here, okay? How many countries participated in the first World Cup in 1930?
This one. I'm going for a guess. 6.
No.
10.
No. Keep going. Come on. We'll tell you when to
12.
stop.
It's not multiple choice,
Come on,
guys.
8.
Come on, what's the answer?
4.
13.
Well done.
Well done. 2 for Paul.
Well done.
Come on, he's in the lead.
You should give him that. Come on, he answered like 5 questions. It's still
Okay,
1-0.
so still 1-0.
1-0. Let's be fair.
Disallowed. Offside.
All right. Question number 3. Who has scored the most goals in a single World Cup tournament?
Muller.
No.
From Germany.
No.
Wrong.
No. No.
Ghalat jawab.
No. No. Fontaine.
Well done. How many?
13.
Oh, well done. Which World Cup?
Done.
58 or 62?
58.
You're asking all questions. That's in his era. That's in his era. You need to ask after.
Michael's parents also 1 point.
That was 3 correct answers. That gets you still 1 point.
All right. Well done. Question number 4. How many games will the winning team have to play in this World Cup?
7. Yeah.
Both said 7. But Paul said it first.
You're the ref.
That's 3-1, 2-1. What's that now? 2, 3.
That's 3-0.
3-0.
3-0.
Come on, Baichung. Come on.
3-0.
I'll give you a chance.
A score an Englishman has never seen before.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Question number 5. Uruguay won the first World Cup in 1930, but in which country was that competition held?
Uruguay.
Well done,
Well done,
representing.
I was trying to give him the answer, but he
Well
knew it already.
done.
He didn't need it. He didn't need it.
3-1.
Didn't
Question
need it.
number 6. Which city hosted the World Cup final in 1998?
1998 France. Oh, that's where France won.
Well done, Baichung.
The geography.
Correct. So that's what, 4-1.
4-1.
4-1.
Yes.
Question
4-1.
number 7. Reaching the end now. Question number 7. Who was the only goalkeeper to win the Golden Ball?
Khan. Germany.
Yeah.
They named the city after him in India, didn't they? Yeah, sorry. Kanpur.
Very good. So that makes it what? 5-1.
Oh, it's a mullering. Just call me the Netherlands.
What was the FIFA World Cup originally called?
Oh, this is like.
Oh, the Jules Rimet.
I think Baichung got it in softly before. Baichung got it in before. In all
Look at our
fairness.
fanboys. They're all going like, ask some difficult questions.
Yeah, he got it in first.
Jules
Yeah.
Rimet,
Can I ask you a
something
difficult
else?
question? Who was in charge for Germany to man-mark Maradona in the '86 final?
In the 86 final.
The big one, you were talking about it. Who was supposed to be marking him for Germany? Whose man was he? Come on. Which one? The obvious one. The '86. Clue, think 1990 Germany team. Who was the important person there? Well done, you're the winner. That's right, it was Lothar Matthäus. Good job, yeah.
Whatever happened to Kanija, man? I really like him.
You ask all the questions, you answer one, you win.
Okay, I'm going to put the last question out to everybody watching, to the fans, and you can answer this by tweeting to us.
Hashtag cling on to football is the hashtag. So
please
send in
do
your tweet.
incorporate that in your tweet. Hashtag cling on to football.
Otherwise, it's just going into it.
And this is for all the fans. All right. Name the country that will host the 2018 FIFA World Cup. The question again, name the country that will host the FIFA 18 World Cup. So, 2018 World Cup.
Come on.
Tweet your answer to cling on to football.
That's easy as pie.
We're trying to get as many people involved.
Oh, I like what you're doing. I like it. Good thinking, sir.
Massy people.
Good thinking.
Massy question.
Oh, mass. All right, well, that's wraps up Castrol Activ playing on the football right here. We'll have another session like this towards the end of the tournament, probably 5th of July that we're looking at. The winner of that rapid fire quiz was you sitting at home, because we know that you got all of them. You got all of them. You're the champ. You is what it's all about. So thank you so much, and keep clinging on to football. Thank you very much, Mace. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Baichung. It was a pleasure. And Abhishek, thank you so much.
My man,
it was
thank you.
super fun having you here. From me, Gaurav Kapoor, and everybody here at Castrol Activ, cling on to football. It's goodbye. It was super fun hanging out with you, and we will do it again. Bye-bye.